ABC, MSM, make some noise. What is up, guys? It's Steve.
It's Ricky.
And together, we're Sticky. And we're so excited to have you guys yet again to Youth Night Live, MSM Tuesday night. And we're stoked today. Do you guys know why we're stoked?
Why are we stoked?
Probably
Steve?
not, because it's April 14th. You know why that's important?
No.
I don't know either.
Sweet.
But it's Tuesday night, and that's enough to be excited for.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even contain my excitement.
No, you can't. Okay. What do we got?
What do we got? What do we got, Ricky? We have a game, as always. Y'all don't think you're ready?
I'm not ready.
So we need to preface this game. Believe it or not, I have never graduated the 5th grade.
Understandable. I think we could all
not past it, and I don't understand how you guys have all in middle school, and I just don't understand it.
I've never gone to school.
What I did was I got some questions from the tests I've taken in 5th grade and put them all together, and we're going to play Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader?
Are you smarter than a 5th grader?
AKA, Are You Smarter Than Me?
Yep.
Chances are you might be.
Most
probably
likely.
are.
We got smart kids.
But don't be too excited or confident. These are some hard questions.
I'm excited. I haven't seen them. I'm ready to do this.
Ready?
Let's do it.
Round 1. Here we go. How many tons does a blue whale weigh?
Okay.
Kid you not, this was on the test last week.
Now, make sure to put all your answers in the comments. We got low latency this time, so we can see your guys' answers pretty quick. Don't Google it, Jedediah.
Yeah.
That is cheating. Don't do it, but
No,
smart.
probably.
That's quick.
Did he say he was going to Google it?
Yeah, he's like,
Dude,
Google
Jedi.
There we go. He just
No.
said JK. Okay, let's
No.
see. I'm going to guess 20 tons.
20 tons.
20 tons.
Okay, do you know how much a ton is? Do you guys know what a ton is?
A ton is a ton. Like a ton of Taco Bell, man. That's a little bit.
A ton of Taco Bell.
A ton of Taco Bell. 2,000 pounds is a ton.
It's
I'm
like,
thinking
I think it's 2,200,
20.
but that's close.
Okay, Katie Hesh says 170. We got
100
Molly at
170
50.
pounds.
Sarah says 40.
40 tons.
Dina says 200. Nicole, over 9,000.
9,000
Good job.
pounds or tons?
Tons.
Because that means that's 18,000
It's an anime
Wait a
reference.
minute.
It's fine.
18,000.
All right, what do we got? What
a lot.
is it?
Here we go.
125.
That's a heavy animal.
Let's see. Who was closest? That would be Katie Hesh.
Do you know how much that is? I'm trying to do the math, and it's been pretty hard.
What is that?
That's 250-ish thousand pounds.
Are you
right?
sure? No.
I feel like
No.
1 ton is 2,000-ish.
I don't
So
know.
it's the 2,000
Somebody
times.
type in that. Appreciate that.
I
Thank
didn't
you.
graduate 5th grade, so I don't know.
All
you
right,
tell me.
what's next?
Moving on. How many times does your heart beat in a day?
Ooh. Okay. One.
So is this like a
The resting
question?
heartbeat's like at 45 to like 70.
This is why I failed this question. There's no right answer because what if you took a jog one morning? What if you laid in bed all day one day? Like it's not
Yeah, it's not the same.
yeah,
Average.
so how?
Oh, I assume the average. Okay, I'm going to say one. How many seconds are in a day first? I'm going to say 30,000 times.
30,000 times?
What do we got? What do we got?
What are people saying?
100,000. We got
See.
250,000. 103,000. 1 billion times.
That's
Alexi
huge.
says a little more than 20 times.
Good job, Delexi.
Yeah, might want to go back to second grade, Alexi.
Maybe his heart only beats 20 times.
All right, what do we
don't
got?
know.
What is it?
You ready?
Yes.
I don't think you're ready. It's a big number.
100,000.
That's about how many pounds of
Dina
blue whale is.
and Leanne. Dang.
They all get it exactly?
They did.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You Googlers.
Yeah, they might.
There's
they
no
might be
way.
Googling.
You Googlers.
Dean says 12.
They
You're
don't-
close.
We don't have Google
Katie
in my
Hesh says
classroom.
1. If your heart is beating once, let your parents know. Let your parents know. It might not be good. All right. What do we got?
Next question. How fast can dragonflies fly in miles per hour? We're not looking for feet per second, miles per hour.
Miles per hour.
Do you know there's not much of a difference between those two?
Really?
No, it's a lie.
Huh.
That's a lie.
Sick. Dragonflies are fast.
They are fast.
I'm just picturing a hummingbird.
yeah.
That's about it.
But they're similar to that.
I'm going to guess
They're just insect hummingbirds.
50 miles per hour. I'm thinking 50. Delexi says
I
2
don't
miles
know.
per hour. Luke says 100. We got 7
But-
from Jedediah.
Do you think they look like they're going so fast because they're small?
No, because they're fast, man. Dragons are fast.
But it's a dragonfly.
It's a dragon. Yeah, a dragon that flies, and it's going to fly super quick. All right, so we got around 30. Everybody's thinking 30 to 60-ish.
30 to 60 miles per hour.
Dina
60
says
miles
34.
per hour.
That might be too exact. She might have
60 is
Googled
a
that.
lot.
60's a lot.
That's like freeway speeds.
Maybe.
Could you imagine going down the freeway and you looked out your window as a dragonfly?
Could you imagine getting hit with a dragonfly just sitting here? Just,
60.
let's do it.
Let's find out how fast they fly.
Ooh,
70 miles per hour.
I was pretty close.
about average
I said
freeway
60.
speeds.
That's not bad.
That's just fast.
That's fast. I wonder how long they can fly.
That's a
at
good
70 miles.
question.
So somebody Google that. How long can a dragonfly fly before it gets tired of
Tired.
flying?
Even if they go like an hour, that's 70 miles.
That's a bit. That's fuel efficient right there. Grass powered.
Grass powered.
Grass powered.
Zero
All right.
emissions unless they fart. I don't know.
Elon
dude.
Musk, get on that dragonfly power. No more horsepower, okay?
My brain hurts
Yeah.
after 3 questions. So I thought we would take a little break. Take a little break
I'm down.
and get a little bit of a fashion tips from Katie. Katie, take it away with some fashion tips.
Still in quarantine and still wearing pajamas. Back to you.
Great tips.
That's
I
a
think,
great unicorn.
I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
I will.
We better. What if we twin? We should twin.
I have an Easter bunny costume
Do you?
right out those doors.
I don't have one.
Well,
Sad.
you can fit into it. It's fun. You can borrow it.
Break time over. Back to the questions. Back to the test. Next question. How many languages are spoken in the world?
Ooh, okay.
That's there's a lot of countries in the world. I think it's like 200 something countries.
Yeah, I think there's 271 countries. Is that right?
That's close.
number's,
That seems
in my
close.
head. Maybe 273. But I think it's 2,740.
Countries or languages?
Languages.
No.
I think it's 2,000.
That.
What do we got?
I guess.
We got 4,000. Addison
4,000.
thinks 150.
150. Okay. Some countries could speak the same language. I see the logic there.
We got 7,111. 16,000
Wow.
from the Birminghams.
Wow.
7,000. 4,354 languages. Delexi, if you're Googling, man, I know where you live.
What did
I
he
will
say?
find you. 4,354.
That's what he said.
That is what he said.
That's pretty exact.
Dean, what
Alexi.
number is this, man? This is
What did Dean say?
2,334,556,678,890 languages.
Hey, you're correct, Dean.
Yep, that
Not
was
even
it.
gonna show you the answer.
Yeah, I mean,
Dean's
he already
just
got
correct.
it. Yeah. All right, what is the answer?
Actual 6,000.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Ooh,
That's
Dina.
a lot.
Dang, she's on it.
That's a lot of languages. I couldn't even make that many sounds.
Here we go. Delexi is not Googling. Just pure intellect.
Your intellect.
No.
Moving on. How many miles across the largest crater on the moon? How many
miles?
across is the largest crater on the moon?
A better question is, have we even been to the moon?
No. Wait. I'm not saying no as we didn't. That's not the question. You're derailing
You're
the
right.
test.
You're right. Okay, let's get
derailing
back.
the
Let's
test.
get back to the real question. Okay.
Better
don't know.
question. Better than your better question. Can we see the largest crater?
I think
What if
so.
it's on the other side of the
How
moon?
would they know? How do they even know?
How do we know?
I have no clue on this.
Telescopes
What do we think?
with a 90-degree angle.
All right, we got
Damn.
70 miles. We got 770 miles. 60, 7,200.
7,000 miles.
6 miles long.
6
2 miles
Okay.
from the Urkeys.
The moon's small.
Moon's
Right.
big, dude.
Well, yeah, it's big, but compared to Earth, it can't be that much.
What? From here,
Yeah,
I'm from Missouri, folks. So, like, from California to Missouri, it's 1,700 miles.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
In Missouri, is it the same moon as from here?
No.
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 You have a different moon?
It's a different moon. It's
What do you mean?
made of cheese and has very large
cheese wheel?
craters. It's
Is
a
it yellow?
It's a cheese wheel.
Oh,
And it
Missouri.
slowly gets smaller because people are eating it. I don't
Missouri.
know how to do it. All right, what's the answer?
Answer
183.
That's like the distance from here to San Francisco.
Let's see.
I
Who
think.
got close to that?
Or
Ooh,
LA.
Jedediah said 200.
That was pretty close.
That's
Jedediah.
pretty good, Jedediah.
Good
Yeah.
guess.
Way to go.
He's been a stud this
What's
game.
next?
Another break because my brain hurts already. It's been a while since I've seen any sports, so I want an update from my boy Tanner. Take it away, Tanner.
Sports are still canceled. Back to you.
Wow. Words
Still
of wisdom.
canceled.
Thank you.
Words of wisdom. He said they were canceled. That's sad.
You're right.
Sad news.
You're right.
I miss sports. You're not in the sports. are
No,
you?
not at all.
That's probably why.
Nope.
All right, moving on back to the test. Hopefully your brains are refreshed already or sad because there's no sports.
Mm-hmm.
This question is, how many paintings did Van Gogh sell during his life? That's the guy that chopped his ear off, right?
If I remember right, I don't think he got famous while he was alive. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. He chopped off his ear to give it to a loved one or something like that.
Fun.
Y'all, I don't know if that's the way to live.
Isn't he like recent though, like from the 1900s? I'm pretty sure he's
Is
from
he?
the 1900s.
I think it's 2. Oh,
Two.
so we got a lot of ones. We got zeros. We got 900 Addison.
Zeros. Oh.
750. We got 53. Zero. There's a lot
Negative
of zeros.
3.
There's a lot of zeros.
I see.
All right.
Is that meant to be negative 3? Oh, no. Moses Stiver.
Let's do it.
3.
What do we
okay,
got?
I see. We have 1.
1.
That's weird because I feel like a lot of people know who he is.
Will somebody
But
put
he
the
only
name of the
sold
painting
one.
in the comments? I would like to know. Please Google
Can you
it.
think of a painting by him?
Didn't he do Mona Lisa?
I have no idea.
Or
I'm in 5th grade, Ricky.
you're right.
I
You're
don't
right.
know.
That's a 6th grade question.
It's
Sorry.
6th graders.
He
Name it.
sold all 12 to his mom.
All
That's
12.
what Molly says.
But
I
if you
guess
only
we'll
sold-
trust her. We'll trust her.
Okay, interesting.
Oh, Starry Night.
Oh, I know the one. I know that one.
All right. We're just trusting you guys.
You're
hope
our
you're
Google.
right. What's
They're our
next?
Google. Next question. How many feet long was the longest beard in history? Mine.
Yeah, of 2 inches.
I'm trying, okay? I'm
It's a
trying.
process.
Okay, you got to use some logic on here. This one was towards the beginning of the year. And my logic was it's a beard, meaning it's hanging down from someone's head. If it was a tall dude, say he was 6 foot tall, his beard could no longer than like 5 feet because then he's
Incorrect.
stepping on it.
Have you seen the people with the toenails that grow them?
No.
They are feet long, like
But-
4 feet long.
But they're in front of you, though. They slap like flippers in front of you.
A beard, you can just throw it over your shoulder and get to walking.
I guess.
And then it'll mop the floor for you.
Ew, that's
Throw some soap behind
disgusting.
and just,
I can't believe you just said that.
All right, what do we got?
Mop
So
the
we got
floor.
17 feet, 6 feet, 18 feet, 6 to 8.
Wow. You guys are thinking
20
big.
foot?
20 foot. That's a long
Clara
beard.
says 99.
Do you think he would wash it? That would be a smelly beard.
I don't know.
Do you think you could just get tired by like foot 3?
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
if
"Oh,
he's
yeah, I'm
growing
done.
it, he's got to care for it. He's
I'm
got to
done."
love it. All right, what do
Let's
we got?
see.
Whoa.
17.
17.
Point
Addison, did you
5.
cheat? That's accurate.
I don't know.
17 and a half inches.
If she would have said 0.5, yeah, definitely
the same.
Googled.
17
what's she-
feet, 6 inches.
Oh, definitely Googled that
17.5.
one.
Don't worry, that's 4th grade.
But I'm in 5th grade.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't pass that one either. It's okay.
Let's take another break because apparently I can't get anything right here.
right.
We're going to move on to a new section called Mad Libs
Mad Libs.
with Zach.
With Zach.
So we're going to do a little Mad Lib. We need some words from you, and then Zach will give us a little story time later.
Yep.
So-
So how this works, guys, we have this. Zach's going to make something a bit later, and we're just going to ask you for things like a verb, an adjective, a noun, and then you're just going to give us to that. So write it in the chat as fast as you can. We'll do this, and we'll give it to Zach.
We need a season. So
Fall, spring, summer, whichever one you guys are
like winter. You forgot
Winter,
winter. I was
you
thinking.
know.
I was like, you forgot one.
All
Is there
right.
more than 4 seasons?
No.
Is there like in between seasons?
Let's
like
go. The first one was summer.
Summer?
Summer it is. We're going to fill this out together.
Okay, we need an adjective.
No. What are you doing?
Wait,
You missed
oh,
one.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, guys.
We need a verb.
So an action like jumping, swimming, anything you want.
Blue.
Ooh. Okay, there's
Blue.
harvest.
Harvest. Okay.
Harvest, a verb. Okay. All right.
We need an adjective.
Adjective.
Not my adjective.
and this is describing. something.
Just like blue or purple or green.
What do we got? There's fat.
I see fat.
Yep.
No.
Well, we got to go with it. That's it. All right. Next up, another verb.
Another verb.
Another action. Give me an action.
Another verb. Oh, I see a lot of moist. Sorry, you guys are too slow.
Okay, you guys.
Another verb. Sleeping
Sleeping.
was first one.
Here we go. And we are going by kind of. It seems like we're going by the first typing one. So get those fingers going. Dabbing. Too late. Try it one more time. All right. Now we need a noun. Give us a noun.
Oh, noun. That's not like
Noun.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Give me a noun. You do the job on now.
Noun. We're horrible.
What do we got?
Ricky.
Well, that's a
Do you get-
pronoun.
Is that?
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it a pronoun?
Zach's a teacher. He said he's a noun.
We'll try. All right, we're gonna go with me, Ricky.
Ricky. Okay, now we need a verb again. Another verb. Another action. Action is a verb.
Verb. A verb. Verb.
Another
Verb is the word.
verb.
What do we got, guys? Dabbing.
Dabbing.
There we go. Came back.
Dabbing.
Persistence pays off.
Nice.
Incredible.
Let's go with another verb. Oh, this
more
might be
verb.
hard. They already put it in verbs.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
I saw pooping.
Good job,
so
Luke.
it can't be multiple. So it's, yeah, so we're just going to go with poop. Sweet.
And we need another noun.
Another noun.
Another noun.
Another noun. Another noun.
You're very musically talented, Ricky.
You know, no.
I just want to.
I guess we go with Katie.
Katie.
Oh, wait. Sorry,
Wait,
there's Steve.
Wait a minute. Steve.
Steve.
Interesting.
All right.
What's with the people? Oh, we need another noun. One
Another
more noun.
Try not to do somebody's name. Let's try something.
I see pickles.
Pickles?
Do you see pickles? I
Yep.
see by
Pickles it
Jedediah.
is.
Pickles. We need a time span. So like
An hour.
an hour,
14 years.
45 seconds.
You know? A millisecond. What do we got? What's our time?
A Netflix movie long. I don't know.
9,000 years, says Delexi. 170 BC. 10 hours.
That's not a time span, Katie. That's
Yeah.
a time period.
Jedediah and Delexi said 9,000 years.
Okay.
So let's go with that.
We'll do 9,000 years.
All right. Let me ship this off to Zach.
I will handle the next question of our test. Are you guys ready? I'm not ready because my brain hurts. So this is like you guys are helping me study basically right now. I got to take my final pretty soon. These questions are going to be on my final. So this is a good study guide. Ricky, hurry up.
I'm
Hurry
here.
up.
I'm
Ready?
here. I'm
Okay.
here.
How many total gifts are mentioned in the 12 Days of Christmas song? 12, right? This isn't in the title. Unless it means
Is it like adding up? So 12 plus 11 plus 10
I
plus 9
guess.
plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus
or would it be like the song be like the first day you get no because it's 12 days. So the first day she gets like a turtle dove. I don't
so
know.
it's asking how many gifts are mentioned. So I think it's adding them. It's got to be the 12 factorial. You remember that?
12 plus 11 plus 10. You sure?
It's got to be around, I don't know.
But doesn't
82.
they give more gifts every day?
Yeah. Well,
So-
it's the same thing. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Okay, what we got is 12, 21. Addison says a lot. You're not wrong.
You
That's a
can't-
lot of gifts.
Right.
78, 136, over 900. 21.
No, I don't
What
think
is
it's
it?
over
What
900.
do we got?
364. I think what they did here, brain time, because I'm a fifth grader. The first day was one gift. I don't even remember the song. What was day one?
Oh, you're
It was the one gift. And then day two, it was the one gift,
And the
which
second
they
day.
included the one gift plus the other gift. So it was like 1 plus 1 plus 2.
Yep.
So it would have been 4 on the second day. And then they just kept going.
All right. What's next? That one hurt my brain.
That was bad. What percentage of Earth's land is made up of deserts? I wanted to say
Desserts?
desserts so
am
bad.
hungry. I am ready for some.
What if it was like, what's the movie Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? Remember like ice cream day or whatever, and it snowed ice cream? It was just ice cream.
Does sound good. All right, so we got 20%. Let's see what percentage. So we got 12%, 40%, 34%, 20%. I'm gonna say
Imagine-
12. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go with
but there's a
Nicole.
lot of deserts in Africa.
Yeah, but water makes up 70% of the Earth's
Oh, I guess.
surface.
Or is it 70%? Because I know it's 70% of humans is water.
Yeah, it's the same.
Is it the same?
Yeah, I think so. Something
That's
like that.
weird. Mother.
All right. So 45, 30, 600%.
Oh, it can't be
fall.
45.
It can't be
Wait. But it's the Earth's land. It's not saying the entire Earth. So just the land section, how much of just the land
percentage
is
of the Earth's
deserts?
land. Ooh, that's a good question.
So it could be more than 30.
I guess. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay,
So- oh.
let's hear it. Let's get the answer.
You want the answer?
Yes.
You sure you can handle
I
the answer?
can't handle the truth.
20%.
Who got it right? Let's see. Anybody get?
No, someone said 20 like right off the gate. I thought.
Yeah. Clara said 20.
I think that was a good
Tina said
guess
24.
because that would have been way too quick to Google that.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a pretty good guess.
Erky said 20. That's good. That's pretty good.
Another break.
All right.
Break time.
Break time.
So we're going to go to traffic with Gabby. Take it away, Gabby.
Still no cars.
Thank you so
Sweet.
much, Gabby. Now I can go home peacefully. Now
don't
there's no cars.
stand in the road. Maybe stand on the sidewalk.
Well, it's never safe to stand on the road, Ricky.
Well,
Never stand on the road.
Yeah.
Always be on the
Yeah.
sidewalk. Safety
take
tips.
your walking buddy.
Safety tips from Sticky.
Yep.
Next question. How many times per second does a hummingbird flap its
Ooh.
wings? We talked about
We
hummingbirds
did.
earlier.
How
That was
many
pretty good.
times a second?
I don't even
Second,
notice.
like boom.
It's quick because like
I'm gonna guess 72. 72 sounds
that's a
right.
good guess.
72.
That's a
What do you
lot.
think? What are you feeling?
I couldn't.
500.
That's quick.
320.
It's
Over
gotta be.
nine-
I think
over
40.
9,000.
40.
40?
Yeah, because that's a second's like
We're
one
going
Mississippi.
real low. Everybody else is going pretty high.
Another question, since you're from Missouri.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you know
Don't bring up my
like? Do you
past.
know saying like? It's hard to do like seconds because people can have like variations, but there's like, oh, just say 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Yeah.
Is that the same over there?
What do you mean? Yeah, we say Mississippi. Yeah.
You
We
still
don't
say
say 1 Missouri, 2 Missouri, 3 Missouri.
it? Well, we don't say 1 California, 2 California.
You could.
Could you? 1
Cali,
California.
2 Cali, 3 Cali, 4.
No, it's too fast.
No, yeah. All right, what do we got?
What
What's
do
the
we got?
answer?
70. That's fast.
Whoa, Dean.
Who got
Dean
it?
got it. Skylar.
You guys are good.
Oh, dude, I said 72, didn't I?
You
I think
did.
that's
You
what-
were close.
No, I do it.
I see so many people who would have graduated the 5th grade. I'm so proud of you
Yeah.
guys.
Steve would have been left all alone.
I'm still left alone. It's
Still-
been like
still
10
repeating.
years. Me and the teacher are on first name basis. Her name's Linda.
What's her middle name?
I don't know. We're not that far yet. She said it'd be another 5 years held back until I get her middle name.
Oof. That's
Yeah.
a commitment.
I know. Moving on. Next question. How many taste buds are there on your tongue?
Taste buds. No,
Can you-
so there's
can
like
you see 'em?
there's like
Cool.
7 sections
Yeah.
of the tongue with taste. No, that's
Can
like,
count?
That's one.
What?
One. You need to clean that thing. No. Brush your
What
tongue.
color
Steve.
is it? Is it blue?
It's blue. It's blue.
Oh, I didn't need anything
All
blue.
right, let's see. We got 400. We got 5,000. We got 112,000 from Delexi.
That's a lot. Like, do you know how tiny those would have to be?
Nicole thinks 12 million.
Wow.
Addison thinks 1 million.
I
Dean
can't even-
thinks 10.
I can't even comprehend 12 million things on my tongue.
No, I can't even count to.
Can you see your own tongue?
Yeah, barely.
That's hard.
That is tricky.
Maybe
All
they're
right,
counting themselves.
What's the answer?
Boom.
3,000. Wow.
Speaking about taste buds, we're moving on to a section that you guys have liked. I don't like it at all. Cooking it in quarantine with Chef Ricardo.
Wait, stand by.
Richard, what do you
no,
got?
No chef is.
No, ha ha.
Hold on, I'm falling apart.
Oh, your hat broke. Oh, you guys don't know that. Sorry. Hat broke. You got to get the rat. You got to put the rat back in it.
There we go. Yeah.
Should we put what's his name? Ratatouille?
Ratatouille, that's the one.
Was that his name? No, that was the dish.
Is it Remy?
I don't remember.
What is the
You
name
should
of
know.
the
He's in your hat.
mouse? You know. What is the name of the mouse from Ratatouille?
Can we just
Type it in the comments.
Can you just get this over with, Ricky?
All right.
'Cause I've been looking at this all
I'm
night.
stoked.
I don't like it.
So what we got here? We got our water.
Okay.
Take your water. We got some Parmesan cheese. Let me crack
That's
this open.
disgusting. This is just that by itself is gross.
So we're just gonna.
It's like
Well,
little floaties
Yep.
in your water. That's disgusting.
let's see. Okay.
I'm not gonna make this
I'm
one.
gonna give you a little more. I feel like you're a little cheesy. let me
Aren't
scoot
you
some of this-
closer to like the cheese state? What's the cheese state?
Let me scoot this out of the place.
What was the cheese state? What
The
is it? The cheese state. Isn't there a cheese state?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. There you go.
Wisconsin.
Wait a minute. Ian's from Wisconsin,
Ian's
isn't
from
he?
Wisconsin.
He's in the tech room.
He's back there.
That's
so
awesome. We got
shouts to
Missouri,
Ian.
Wisconsin, California, and California.
Next up, we have red sprinkles. I do not eat ice cream without sprinkles. So we're gonna dump. See, there's some nice separation. Let's scoot that over.
It's
there's
like-
some nice separation.
It's layered,
happening.
but it's still disgusting.
I mean, see, now this looks pretty good. This looks pretty good so far. All right, Steve, what do you want next?
Well,
What-
let's just get some more chunky things in
Yeah.
there.
Okay, so we need some oatmeal. Pour us open some.
Oh, I'm gonna
oatmeal.
do it.
Yep.
I'm not trained in this.
You can do this. I
See,
mean, anybody could be a chef. All you need is a hat.
I don't have a hat on.
Then you can do it. All right.
I don't have a hat.
Here you go. Put it in there.
I'm
Let's
trying.
get some.
I'm trying.
Come on. Come on now.
Oh, it's mixing with the Parmesan.
Oh no.
You know what? You get extra.
Oh,
Because you gave me extra Parmesan. I think you need
Yep.
some. Oh, there's something chunky in
that's
there.
looking. It's all.
That's not supposed to be
it's
chunky.
all- you're right.
Oh, it's synced. It's
It's
sunk.
sinking.
Synced.
It's
Sunk.
sunk.
What's last?
Last, everybody's favorite. You gotta have it. Sriracha. 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 All right, here we go. Sriracha. Oh, it's leaking. That's
Ew.
fantastic. All right, here we go.
Sriracha. Do you want to say it like that? Because the face
Wait,
you make when
I
you
gotta
eat
put
it.
down my.
Sriracha. This is so hot. Sriracha. Ew. No, Ricky.
I can smell the spice.
Oh, I don't want to drink that. Stop. Oh, wait,
Well, you know, it doesn't smell that bad yet.
dude, it smells like
I'm
Doritos.
just gonna wipe it on my.
It
jacket.
smells like the spicy Doritos.
All right, let's stir these together. Let's see if we can get a close up of that.
Oh, Rick, I don't know, man. I'm not too sure about this one. Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it.
Okay, here we
Come
go.
on.
And elbow. Bink. There's like a.
Oh, wait a minute.
We might have something here.
There's something on the back end of that.
There's, in a good way.
I'm the wow.
Like.
Wow. Hold
y'all,
up.
this was
Hold
not
up.
meant to go well.
Hold up.
And there
we
might be
got
something
something
good
here. I was literally thinking about it. I was like, there's no way. It's
so
good.
The cool thing is like the water's all at the top, so you get like it's kind of like a lemon juice, or not a lemon
Still
juice,
disgusting.
tomato juice. And then you got your oatmeal.
No,
bun,
let's
sticks to the bones.
let's just move on.
Yep. I'm gonna do one more.
Ew. While Ricky's being disgusting and drinking more of that, I think Zach is ready to go with our Mad Lib. Is he ready to go? Yeah,
He's ready.
He looks ready.
You know,
he looks ready.
He might seem a little moody.
He's moody.
might be a
Moody
little
because
moody.
it's so great. So why don't you guys transition over there to the Mad Lib and let's see what we got. This looks.
This is a poem we wrote called How to Tell When You're in Love. It goes like this. Snaps for emphasis. When you are in love, every day feels like summer. The sun is always harvesting. The air feels fat. And the birds are always sleeping. You see the world through rose-colored Rickies. And when you see the person you love, your heart starts dabbing. You can't even poop because they take your pickles away. The person you love is always with Steven. That took a dark turn. The person you love is always with Steven. The person you love is always with Steven. And you can't imagine 9,000 years without them.
Well, that happened.
I'm sorry for taking all your women, Ricky.
So, me too,
Apparently,
man.
I do that.
I mean, when you got your Steve, what else? What else do you
So
need?
you want to know what I've been doing while you've been over there?
What? Oh,
Drank it all.
well, mine got
No, I didn't. Drank it all.
a little more full, but I'm gonna finish it.
You-
No, no, I can't. I can't.
I'll give you
The spice is still
$10.
on my tongue. I can't
$10.
do it. $10.
$10.
That's two Taco Bell $5 boxes.
I'll give you a minute.
Okay.
Here we go to another question. How much did the heaviest baby ever born weigh? Did I read that
How
right?
much did you
How
weigh,
much-
Steven?
I was a premature baby, all right? I was 5 pounds when I was born.
Do you like that bird?
No.
No.
He's just mad. He has to take all his ladies.
Uh,
He's mad.
you know what?
He's mad.
You're right.
He's mad.
You're
What are
right.
people saying?
Yep. Okay. What do we?
I see 25 pounds by Jacob
600
Winch.
ponds.
600
600 ponds.
ponds. That's heavy. Ponds
That's
are
a
heavy.
lot of goldfish. That's a lot of goldfish. We got 13 pounds, 21. Dana, you can only type once, man. That's all you can do.
She keep re-guessing.
Yeah,
She just wants to win.
She just wants
She
to
wants to
20, 20. She did 22.
All right, Ricky.
20. All right, what do we got?
We'll see what we got. 15 pounds, 6 ounces. I feel like that's not that much. I just don't. Is that a lot? Zach just had a baby.
I
His wife had a baby. That is a lot.
think we-
I don't know. I've
we are
never had a
not the-
baby. He was 8 pounds and he was a big baby.
We are not the
Wow.
ones carrying the child, Steven.
I met his. Another break time. Here we go. If you guys are interested in what the weather is, Brody has you covered. Take it away, Brody.
It's warm.
Thank you so much, Brody. I was so curious about the rain that's not coming because it's sunny
Not yet.
and warm.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Thank you guys so much. That was it. I have all the studying. Thank you guys so much for helping me study. Get ready for another great message by our pastor, Zach. Ricky, why don't you transition it? Awkward transition.
Here's Zach.
I feel like those transitions are getting worse every week. Man, it's great to be with you guys. You know, we miss you so much, and we say this every week that we're in quarantine, but we love the fact that we get to gather kind of together virtually. So thank you to those of you who have been tuning in faithfully every week. We hope that this time is beneficial for you. We got to play some games together, grow a little bit together, just be challenged by what God can show us, and then spend some time in those Zoom calls afterwards. And so I don't know how you guys have been the last week or so. We talked to some of you on Easter. Didn't talk to a ton of you. I don't know how your Easter Sunday went. Easter Sunday is this big, big day for so many people. It's this amazing, amazing time. And for you guys, Easter Sunday may have been this great celebration. For others of you, it might have been a little bit sad. It might have been just a little bit where you're like, oh man, I'm just not with my church, or I'm not with a bunch of people, or my family even, you know, if you might be with your immediate family, but normally for Easter, maybe you do extended family stuff. So maybe you had this just sense of, like this little bit of a letdown from Easter. For some of you, it might have been this spiritual big moment for you where you realize, man, I don't need to be with the church. Jesus is still alive, no matter if I'm in a building or not. I can still be with the church virtually. And maybe you realize that, and it was a great day for you. You know, it reminds me of the very first Easter. I think a lot of times we realize that the first Easter a little bit felt like us. The disciples that saw the risen Jesus, so Jesus rises on Easter Sunday and sees these disciples, and there's a lot of them that were overjoyed. But you know what happened right after the first Easter Sunday, the very first time that people celebrated Easter, because it was when Jesus rose again from the dead to prove once and for all that death was defeated and our sin doesn't hold us at all, and that we would have a life with Jesus. The very first thing that happened is that one of his disciples, who had been following Jesus for 3 years, doubted. And the disciples that did get to see Jesus had been telling him his name was Thomas, and he gets this nickname called Doubting Thomas, which is a little bit unfair because Thomas spends most of his time with Jesus. He's doing good things, and he's always says what's on his heart. Something I love about reading through the gospel with Thomas is when Thomas is sad, he says it. When Thomas wants to be encouraging, he says it. And when Thomas is doubting, as he does in this moment, he says it. He just kind of blurts it out. And the disciples have been telling him, Thomas, look. You have got to hear this. Jesus is not dead. Jesus is risen. And he's like, no. I'm not going to believe it. And the disciples are like, Thomas, you've got to believe it, dude. We saw him. Jesus is risen. And he's like, no. I'm not going to believe it. And finally, they're like, Thomas, you got to hear it. Jesus has risen from the dead. And he's like, listen, until I actually see Jesus and I put my hands through the holes in his hands, I feel the scars where they put the nails through his hands when they hung him up on the cross, I'm never going to believe. And it's really easy to look at Thomas and go, come on, dude. Like all your friends said that he was alive. Why can't you just believe your friends? And I try to put myself in the mindset of Thomas, who just a few days before this had watched the person that he followed for 3 years, that was his teacher and that he felt was the Messiah, get brutally murdered on a cross. And when we think about Jesus on the cross, a lot of us don't have the imagery of how horrific and brutal that was. He basically watched the person that he loved as Savior get completely dismembered and brutalized on this cross. And if he's thinking is like, how can I reconcile that this guy might actually be alive? he was basically torn apart and then thrown in this tomb and there for 3 days in this empty little cave thing. How do you recover from that? And I think in some ways, some of us are with Thomas. Maybe there was a time in your life where you felt Jesus moving. Maybe it was a time up at Hume Lake, or a time at an Awaken conference, or a time here at MSM or VBS, or just a time in your home where you heard a certain song, or you were out in nature and you just felt God's presence and you're like, oh, he's with me. And then before you know it, time passes and things change and it just feels like God is distant. And as it feels like God is distant, doubt creeps in. And you just begin to wonder, like, is he real? Does he care about me? Does he know me? Can I trust him? And we wrestle with doubt the way Thomas does, and this is what happens in the story. 8 days after Thomas says, never will I believe unless I get to see him, Jesus shows up, and he walks through the door. And if you're reading this story, you might think like, okay, that Thomas guy, he really messed this up. Jesus is going to come in and like slap him or something. Be like, you wanted to see me? Boom. You see these hands? Boom. Thomas, get out of here. Right? But he doesn't. Jesus comes to Thomas and he says, Thomas, go ahead. You said you wanted to feel the scars? Go ahead. I'm real. I'm here. And he treats him with love. And then Thomas says this beautiful line of repentance, of kind of like giving up his doubt and turning back to God. He says, my Lord and my God, and declares Jesus is God. And Jesus says to Thomas, he says, you have seen, but blessed are those who have not seen and still believe. And we might think that that's a really big mark against Thomas. We're like, oh, man, we don't want to be like Thomas. Got to have all this blind faith. But that's not what Jesus is saying. He's saying, look, Thomas, you've seen me. It doesn't mean that Thomas is just like some outcast at that point. All the other disciples saw him too. They all got the benefit of seeing the risen Jesus. When Jesus is saying, blessed are those who have not seen and still believe, he's talking about us. He's talking about all the people who are walking through this life, not seeing God's hand and trusting that he's still working. And sometimes we can see God playing his day. Sometimes we see things in our lives and we go, that was a miracle, or that was amazing, or I felt God's presence, or I heard God's voice, or I understood God's presence in my life. And then there's other times where we just go, God, where are you? It just feels like you're lost. It feels like I'm lost. It feels like you're distant from me. My favorite line in all of the Bible, because I think I resonate, that means I really feel it so much that it's true of my life. I went through a period of my life where I just completely doubted God's existence, that I just did not feel him at all. I didn't want anything to do with him. I would pretend to be a Jesus follower, mostly just to not upset my parents or rock the boat too much, but I just didn't believe. And it was because I was isolating myself from God and I just didn't want anything to really do with him or other believers. And I let all this doubt creep into my life. And I had to give that doubt to God. See, sometimes we think that we're like bad Christians if we doubt. We think that there's something wrong with us, or we think that God doesn't love us as much if we doubt. And that's just not true. Jesus didn't love Thomas any less because he said, I won't believe till I see him. There's this other part in Scripture, again, my favorite line in Scripture. Jesus comes down this mountain, and this guy has a sick child, and he comes up to Jesus and he says, can you heal my child? And Jesus looks at him and he says, yeah, take me to him. And the guy says, if you can heal him, God, please heal him. And Jesus stops and goes, if I can. All things are possible for he who believes. And then this guy, this dad, says my favorite line in all of the Bible. He says, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. When we feel distant from God, it's okay to have these doubts, but we can't leave them there. We can't just go, well, I just feel distant from God, and we walk away. We can have the cry of our heart be, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. In this season right now, for so many of us, God might feel distant. You have the big thing on Easter Sunday, and then Easter Monday hits, and you just feel spiritually dry again. Nothing has changed in your life. You're like, this will be different. I'm going to follow Jesus. Maybe this has happened to you after Hume Lake. You have this big spiritual moment, and then you come crashing down, and you're just go back to normal, and you're like, and you begin to doubt again. I can understand where Thomas is coming from. I can understand where this dad in the story is coming from. There's times in my life where I can see God, I can see him working, I can see him moving, and I still have some doubts creep in. And the cry of my heart, and I hope that will be the cry of your heart if you're people who have struggled with doubt the way I did, is to say, God, I believe. I do believe that you're in control. I do believe that you're above everything. Would you help in the times that I don't? Would you help when I just don't get it? God, I believe that you're still in control, but I don't understand this COVID-19 thing. I don't get where you are in this. I don't feel you right now. Would you help my unbelief in this season? Would you help me understand why things are happening the way they are? Some of you right now are really struggling. It might just be that you're struggling with boredom. Some of you are really missing your friends. Some of you have parents who have been significantly financially impacted by COVID-19, and you might be hearing their conversations or sensing their stress. Some of you may know people who are sick, and it's so easy to just try to look at everything on our own and not even think that God is there. Or to ask God, where are you in all of this? There's this other story in the Bible in the book of Job, and all these terrible things happen to this guy, this guy Job. All these terrible things happen to him. And he spends like 30 chapters complaining. God, where are you? Where are you in all this? I feel alone. I feel like you've abandoned me. Where are you? And God is the creator of the universe. And he has every right. He created Job. He has every right to be like, boom, lightning bolt, pss, dead, done with you. But God's response after Job just rants and rants and rants and doubts and complains and doubts, and Job had terrible things happen to him. And he does all this doubting and yelling, and God at the very end of it just says, hey, where were you when the world was created? Where were you when this was all formed? I was there. I know the plan. You got to trust that I've got this. And if Job would have thought, he probably would have said, God, I believe, help my unbelief. I know that you're there, and I know that you're God, but it's just so hard when bad things happen to feel that you really are there. And at the same time, for some of you, it's not that bad things are happening, it's that no things are happening. And you just can't sense God at all. There's this other book in the Bible. I just read it in my quiet time with Jesus the other day. I love this book. It's very short. It's in the Old Testament. It's 4 chapters. It's called Ruth. It's super short. And there's 3 main characters. There's Ruth and Naomi and Boaz. And God is barely mentioned in it. There's hardly any mention of God. God doesn't speak in it. God doesn't perform any miracles. It's like Ruth has, her husband dies, and then she goes with her mother-in-law into this town, and then they're poor, and then she meets another guy, and then they get married. And that's basically the story in a nutshell. And you're like, why is that even in the Bible? I love this book because at the very, very, very end of the story, Ruth has a son with the new husband. And she names her son Obed. And you're like, okay, Obed. I've never heard of an Obed in the Bible. But then it goes on and it says, Obed was the grandson of King David. And now maybe a few of you have heard of King David. But then in King David's line, if you trace through the Bible, it leads all the way to Jesus. So from David's family, from Obed's family, from Ruth, comes Jesus. God is working behind the scenes in our lives, even when we feel like he isn't. And in those moments, we need to be like the guy in the story, God, I believe, would you help my unbelief? I don't see you right now, but I'm going to trust that you're still working in my life. And I'm going to start looking for you. And I'm going to start trying to find you. And then going back to the first story I talked about with Thomas, something I think we need to learn from Thomas so we don't do what he did and just say, never will I believe. Because I think there's a difference between saying, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief, and never will I believe. Now, Jesus still loved Thomas for saying, never will I believe, but saying never will I believe puts us in a really dangerous place. And what Thomas did is he isolated himself. So he didn't feel that God was there. He isolated himself from other people that could point him back to God. Because all his other disciples were like, hey, we saw him, hey, we saw him, hey, we saw him. And Thomas was the only one who didn't see him. And Thomas must have felt super alone. And when we feel alone, when we isolate, then it's no wonder that God's going to seem distant or that doubt creeps in. You guys, doubt creeps in more when we're alone. Sin creeps in more in our lives when we isolate. And in this time where it feels like we're just so isolated all the time, we can't let doubt creep in. We can't let sin creep in. We can't let it gain a foothold in our lives. So if you start sensing doubt creeping in, it's okay to doubt, but don't leave it there. Say, God, I believe, help my unbelief, and then go talk to your team huddle leader, talk to me, talk to some of your friends, and just say, here's what I'm struggling with. I just don't understand it. Could you help walk me through it? That's what they're there for. In your Zoom calls in just a few minutes, I hope that you're honest and just say, right now, I just don't feel God. I just don't get it. I don't see him. And would you be honest about your doubt? Be honest about not feeling God or seeing God move. So a lot of you know I have an 8-month-old son at home. His name is Caspian. And Caspian is in the phase, like a lot of babies his age, there's something called object permanence. And so if he doesn't see something in front of him, he thinks it's gone. He thinks it disappears. So a lot of times, and he's a big people person. He's a big extrovert already, we can tell. We'll sit him down on a play mat, and I will walk like 3 steps away from him. But his face will turn away from me, and he thinks I'm gone. He completely thinks I've left his life. And he just starts screaming. Like he'll just cry and cry and cry until I like pop back. I'm like, dude, I'm like right here. He doesn't do it all the time, thankfully. But there's a good chunk of times where I'll set him down and I walk where he doesn't see me and he cries. But I'm still there. His dad is still here. He just has to look back at my face. And then he goes, okay, I'm okay. Dad's here. Because we got to do this with God too. There's times where we turn away from God. With our sin in our lives, we turn away from God. Or in this season where we're so distracted by everything else, by technology, or we're distracted by laziness, or distracted by sin, or distracted by Netflix, or anything else that's consuming us right now. And we turn away from God, and God's like, yo, I'm here. And we're like, I can't see you, God, I can't see you, I can't see you. And if we turn and look at his face, it's okay Thomas had to see Jesus. He looked at him. He felt him. He goes, oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. The guy on the mountain got close to Jesus. He saw the presence of God, and Jesus healed his son. For us, getting close to God, it maybe isn't putting our hands in his wounds. But for us, getting close to God, maybe spending time with him. Doubt is going to fade away as we look at the face of our Father. Sin starts fading away as we look at the face of our Father. When we feel scared and anxious, it'll start fading away as we look at the face of our Father. We need to turn to God, look at him, and we'll be okay. And if you need help doing that, tell your team huddle leader. Tell your friends in your team huddle. I'm going to close with this. There's this song that I love, again, reminding us that being someone who doubts sometimes is okay. We just can't leave it there. There's a song by this band called Citizens. There's a line that goes like this. I keep searching for the answers to my doubts. It's like I'm caught between belief and wanting out, but there's this promise that my soul just cannot shake, that I am loved despite the struggles of my faith. And the end of the song says this, I just want to shout it out for the world to hear it, that I'm his kid no matter what I'm feeling. I'm doubting doubts, but I just can't help believing that I am loved no matter what. Students, you are loved no matter what you're feeling. You are a child of God. He loves you more than you could ever know. We just got to look at his face, and everything's going to be okay. Let's pray. God, thank you for this time. Thank you for this opportunity just to continue to be with each other, even though it feels different. Even though it feels different, God, we're still with each other. And God, would we focus on you? Would we look at your face? Would we encourage each other? Would we not give up meeting together? Would we keep learning from each other and pushing each other? God, would you comfort those of us who are struggling with doubt in this season, who are struggling with not feeling your presence in this season? Would you help us? Would you guide us? Would you turn us back to you? In your name, amen. Hey, before you guys go to Zoom groups, super cool thing that's going to happen next week. We are going to have a special guest that I'm interviewing via Zoom, but you get to see this interview with a friend of mine, and a few of you may know who he is, and if you don't know who he is, I'm going to point you out so you can check him out this week. So my friend is named Nathan Kress, and he was on a TV show several years ago on Nickelodeon called iCarly. So if any of you have ever seen a show called iCarly, he played a kid named Freddie on the show. It's this awesome, funny show on Nickelodeon. They still play it on Nickelodeon. You should be able to catch some reruns, or you can find it on Amazon Prime or something like that if you want to check out the show. So again, you can Google iCarly, Nathan Kress. He's a believer. He's a Jesus follower. He's an amazing dude. And we're going to be interviewing with him next week. And so you'll catch it here at this time, Tuesday night. It's going to go probably a little longer than normal, so we're not going to start Zoom groups till 7:30 next week. But that way we don't want you to miss any of the interview with Nathan. But man, even if you haven't heard of the show iCarly, Nathan is an incredible guy. And it'll be cool for you to hear a little bit about his struggles in Hollywood and dealing with anxiety and auditions and following Jesus when everyone around him wasn't following Jesus, and advice he has for you. And he's an incredible guy. I can't wait to hear for you to hear from him next week. So we'll be on in Zoom in just a few minutes. We love you guys so much. We miss you. And hopefully we'll see you next week here at Youth Group Live. Bye.